from next class.
Right, thank you so much. So we are talking about load balancers today. So load balancers are equipments that are present within the organization that will balance the incoming traffic. The traffic could be in the form of HTTP, RDP, or any traffic that you can configure on the load balancer. Mostly it is HTTP traffic or HTTPS traffic. S is secure, where you will need a certificate to make sure that the traffic is secure. Now this is us who's trying to access www.amazingclothing.com, right? And there is a load balancer right there. The first hit goes to, let's keep it a different picture. Let's close that. Okay, so that's the load balancer. Behind the load balancers, what you will have is multiple web servers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Multiple web servers. So the job of the load balancer is to make sure that no two servers have more load. That means the load on one server is evenly distributed between others. So the first hit goes to this server, second hit goes to second server, third hit goes to third server, fourth server, and so on. And they will run in a round robin fashion, so that all the traffic is not going to one single server. That's what the load balancer does. What we are doing in this lab today is creating two load balancers. We'll create, so not two load balancers, we'll create two web servers. These two are hosted on Windows. This is Windows Web Server 1, this is Windows Web Server 2. Both of them will be hosting a small website. We will customize the HTML file to make sure that they reflect something that we can understand. So make sure that this HTTP file reflects as server 1 and this HTTP or HTML file reflects as server 2. So we'll try to access this sitting from here, from the internet, and we'll of course open respective security ports on the load balancer, open ports on server 1 and server 2 as well. So that means, and the port that we will open is port number 80, right? So it's going to do that. We've got two web servers up and running. What we'll do is RDP or remotely connect to that server using this command, which is mstsc, and paste it here. Okay, it gives you a pop-up. Administrator. The password is something that you gotta pull up from here. Get Windows password and choose the PEM file which we downloaded, right? The downloads, and we'll have web server, Windows web server, sorry, Windows web server PEM. That's it. You say open, and you decrypt it. So that is your password. Even though you have selected the same PEM file for both the machines, the passwords will be different. They will not be same.
Okay.
So it's getting in there. Okay. While that is getting in, let's just get into the other server in the interest of time. Just copy that and mstc and paste it here and type administrator. The password is, like I said, it's not going to be same. Get Windows password. Choose the Windows web server file. So open that. Decrypt the password. Copy it. Paste it. That's it. So we are now logged into both the servers. Okay, this is still getting in, getting into business. So let's wait for it to come up. Okay. That's the second server. Okay, please wait for the user profile service. This is Windows 2012, I believe. It's got just 1 GB of RAM and 1 CPU, so it's gonna be slow. Okay, finally we got Windows Server 2012 R2 here, and we will make it a web server. Making a Linux machine a web server is much easier than making it on a Windows server. It is time consuming here, but in Linux it's just one command and that's done. That's take care of all the background
Yeah,
things. Here I will
I just done it in Ubuntu uh, to connect instances.
Ubuntu. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it takes some time. Let's see what's going on with the other server. Alright, it's still working on it. Okay, that's ready as well. I'll open the server manager on the second machine and keep it ready. Okay, this machine is ready as well. So I click on add roles and features and next, hit next and hit next again, hit enter again, and then scroll down here, select IIS, add features. Um, don't worry about any of those things, just hit next, 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 and next, and get that done. That's good. So you go to the second server now, go to add roles and features, and hit next, next, next again. Scroll down to the bottom, select Windows Server, add everything that it needs. Next, next, get it done. That's it. That's how we have installed IIS, which is Internet Information Services, which is making it a web server. Okay?
Mhm.
Let's give it some time for it to be completed. Any questions so far?
We are doing all these operations through the instance, right?
Oh yes, these are instances that we launched in EC2.
Okay.
So look at these. This is 187 and this is 48. 187 and 48. So these are machines that we launched in AWS. These two, 1 and 2. This is
Mm.
187 and this one is 48. With these 48 and 187.
Okay.
Got it?
Do we need to check the statistics every
Well,
time when we
that is
launch the instances?
yes, statistics is a mandatory health check. You need to check them. So if it is 1 by 2, it's kind of worrisome. So you've got to reboot that server. And that fixes it. Most of the time, just reboot fixes it. It should be 2 by 2 check
Okay.
complete.
Okay. If it is 1 by 2, the reboot will solve the problem.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, this is completed, and the other one is also completed. So let's handle them one by one. I'll close this guy and go here. In fact, let's go ahead and do this, okay? So what I'm going to do is just copy this public IP and paste it in the browser and see what happens. You should be able to see the default IIS web page. See that works out, right?
Mhm.
And I'm going to do the same for the other machine. Control C, and that works out as well. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll customize this. We don't want this page. Like I said, this one should be server 2, another guy should be server 1. So let's say sample HTML web page. Okay. You are from the computer science background, so you will not have any difficulty here doing HTML.
Yeah.
So HTML document, I'll just pick up a very simple, basic skeleton image and say server this. We'll make it server 1. Okay. Right. I am on load. Right, something like that. So it gives me the code like that. I'll copy it and go to one of those servers, 187, and there's a folder inside this which is called as inetpub. So going to C drive, inetpub folder, www root, and I'll create a file, a text file called as index.html. Paste it, save it, close it. But it's still not a HTML file. I don't see E icon. There's some problem with the folder options. I'll quickly go ahead and change the settings. View, show, not that one, this one. That's it. So it's still a text file, so we'll rename that. That. That's an HTML file now. Make sense?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go try to copy and paste it to the other server and see how that goes. So here, C drive, I need paste it. Awesome. And then this guy should be server 2, isn't it? Not server 1. So we've got to go and edit it to reflect. Open with Notepad. Alright.
All right.
Alright, so that's what's going on. This one also has a file problem, so we'll do the same thing. You, okay. Why is it a text file? Let's see what happens if we try to access it with the IP, which is 48. 48. Which one is 48? This one is 48. Okay. Okay, server 2. Let's go to server 1 as well. Okay, so this is server 1 and this is server 2, right?
Yep.
So we're going to put them behind a load balancer now. For that, we're going to go to EC2 and scroll down to something called as load balancers. Click on load balancers. There's already an ELB here, so I'll click on create load balancer, I'll select that and give it a name. Give it a name like lab load balancer. Okay, and this one is internet facing. It must be facing to the internet, right? Not internal. It is IPv4 address. It's IPv4. Scroll down. We want port number 80 because it is um, a web traffic. We know that we have hosted in VPC called as this one, Anthony VPC. Here, the number of subnets inside that will be listed. There's some problem. What's that? Okay, what's going on? Okay. What's this? Okay. So we need to go and check in which subnet we have our machines. So I will launch EC2 one more time. Start and go here. They must be in different availability zones. That's the three criteria here. So
Yeah.
this one is in
1A and
1A,
1C.
and this one, oh, it's written here 1C, 1A and 1C, which is
Yeah.
good. And 1C is 40 and 30. Okay, 40 and 30. So here I will select this guy. Of course, I need to select that 40 and 30, and I need this. Okay, 40 and 30. That's it. Okay, next.
Yep.
So in security groups, it must be in the same VPC. So I want to make sure that these security groups are in the same VPC as we have for that guy. So uh, they must have port number 80 open. But just by looking at this, I don't know whether port number is 80 is open or not. So I have to go there manually, go to VPC section. Where is VPC? Here. Getting it right? I'm saying
Yeah.
that just by looking at this, I don't know which ports are open and which are not.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go to VPC and go to security groups and look at these numbers here. This is, let's see, 28. 28 must have port number 80 open and must be in the Antony VPC subnet. So 28 is in Antony VPC and it must have port number 80, which it does, which is good. So it has that. So I don't have to worry about that. Configure routing is where you go ahead and attach those machines to this group. Target group is nothing but a bunch of servers,
Yeah.
web servers. A group of servers is a target group, and you want to attach port number 80 is only for health checks. So if there is a particular index.html missing or corrupted, it will make sure that it does not uh, that particular web server is not overloaded. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll get this removed for now. I'll just leave it like that and say next. So okay, now here the instances that are registered in those subnets, which is something you will see, select those and add register. That's it. Next review. Does that make sense to you? All of that?
Yeah.
Just create it. Now your load balancer is in progress. Close it. And that's it. That's provisioning. It must turn to active. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are two sections here. One is creating the load balancer. Other is creating the target groups inside which you will add those web servers. You
Yep.
can add a few more web servers. If tomorrow you would like to create more web servers, you can create it here. Go to the instance EC2, create a web server, and you can add them by editing this section. Click on edit and you will be able to add them.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So let's wait for this to be provisioned 100% and we will see. Now this ELB has a public name. So if you look at this DNS name, this is publicly accessible. Lab,
Yeah.
LB, whatever, this is publicly accessible. So you should be able to copy that, go to the browser and paste it, and it should take it to one of those servers, server 1 and server 2, right? Once it is provisioned 100%.
Yeah.
So that is a public URL for the load balancer.
Yep.
Just waiting for it to complete and show active over there. I'm gonna refresh it because I really don't like silence. Oh, okay, it's awesome. It's active now. So what I'm gonna do is copy that and paste it in the browser. Let's see what we get. Okay, it says site cannot be reached. Time for some troubleshooting then. Okay, so it's active.
Yeah.
And let's go to listeners and see what it is. HTTP, all that is good. Monitoring them. There's nothing to monitor here at this time. So first thing I'll check is whether port number 80 is allowed or not, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to remove unnecessary things here. This is something I don't need. HTTP, save that. Okay. Both of these are healthy. That works as well. It's good. The telnet works with these two servers. See, it took some time to settle down and finally it took me here. Server 2. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to refresh it one more time and see it goes to server 1 now. Next time it should go to server 2. So every time I refresh, it's taking the load alternatively. Server 1, server 2, server 1, server 2. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how load balancing does. Now what we also need to talk about is how do you handle if there is more load on the server? We need to create more instances. Let's say both of these are at 90% utilization. Can we create automatic identical machine which is similar to this when there is a threshold of about 90% CPU or 40% CPU or whatever? Automatically. And
Yeah.
when the sale is over, that means the number of hits to the server are low. That means network IOPS and the CPU utilization will really come down. At that point, the server should automatically be killed, terminated,
Yeah.
and we pay only for that usage. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is called as auto scaling. So
Yeah.
scaling is provisioning of resources when a certain threshold is reached, and also
Okay.
deprovisioning of resources when when the machine does not
After.
have much load.
Yeah.
When you are provisioning new servers, it's called as scaling out. When you are removing or terminating instances, it's called as scaling in.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
So today we looked at VPC, oh, even before VPC, you looked at certain network concepts. Network
Network
concepts.
concepts.
Then we looked at VPC, which is virtual private cloud. Then we created EC2 instances,
Okay.
both Windows and Linux. We also understood how to log in with the help of PEM and PPK files. These are nothing but certificates.
Yeah.
Then we also looked at load balancer, and
Yeah.
when this load balancer was done on Windows. We understood the concept of scaling in and scaling out. And tomorrow we'll do this live, the scaling stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Any questions so far?
No questions.
Alright. Please give me feedback if you would like me to improve on any aspects, the rate of speech or my communication or the delivery. It will really be helpful for me to be better and better trainer.
Yeah, you're very good. I need to improve.
Thank you so much. And I suggest that you go ahead and do all of these yourself, and that way you will have lots of questions tomorrow. So rather than just being one-way communication, I want it to be a duplex communication. So that
Yeah.
is we'll make it more like a discussion and knowledge transfer instead of doing a training session. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great. You have a great day ahead, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Thank
Super.
you.
Bye.